Hey, everybody. Once again, you are tuned in to Twid Radio. If you haven't been told or just didn't know, Twid stands for that's what I do. And as long as you're breathing, I guarantee you're doing something. We're bringing you the real, raw, the relevant tackling news, dating, marriage, sports, and more. This is where the black community connects, grows, and thrives. That's what we do in our tribe, circles, and communities. So hit that subscribe button and join the Twitter revolution today.
Thought I was out. They pulled me back in.
Family. Just when I thought I was out, they keep pulling me back in. Tonight, we're going to be talking about relationship issues. And I think relationship issues is going to be something that's going to be forever talked about, because one of the most important things, well, you can't do anything without relationships. You just got to have it. You it's imperative. It's really unavoidable, to be honest with you. But I came across this brother's page, and you can tell he's got a lot to get off his chest because he's going through a divorce. And a few days ago, well, he's going through a divorce, but the separation happened around Christmas, which was a few days ago. But anyway, I'll let him tell it, and I'll just react to it. Let's get it.
Money Moves with Myth 2.0, the podcast. And always remember, gentlemen, it's a mother movie. So what happened in my relationship? You know, a lot of people been asking, you know, a lot of people like where Myth been at, you know. And I made a video telling you guys that me and my wife are separated now. She initiated the separation. I'm initiating the divorce. All this happening around Christmas time. As you guys know, I lost my job, my high-paying job, mainly because of her. You know, we had good savings, you know, a concrete plan, money coming in and stuff like that. And out of nowhere, out of nowhere, you know, guys, us as men, we helping and sacrificing it all for one woman, like the one dude said in the other video. And out of nowhere, here she goes. Oh, you just don't treat me right, and you're disrespectful, and you don't love me no more. And I just got sick of it, because like us as men, like we know what we have to do, you know what I'm saying, in a relationship, you know. But when it comes to women, Western women, it's always something, you know. When there's not nothing going on, they will bring something just so something could go on. I call them drama queens, you know. And this part of the reason why I advise guys, get your own place. You know, you guys can learn from my mistakes. Get your own place. Do not get married without a prenup. You know, do not get married without a prenup. Don't get married, period.
Okay, family. Let me react to that part real quick. The brother, he's giving you a lot of advice, a lot of, I guess, good advice. But as far as a prenup, if you don't have nothing, you know what I'm saying, what are you getting a prenup for? Which most of the time, I'd have to say at least around 80 something percent of the time, when two people get married, they get married young, and rarely do either one of them have anything. They're not even really thinking about that. You know, they're young and they think that, you know what I'm saying, that's the one. But this relationship thing is it's something that every man, for the most part, bears the burden of, because we always have had more. Well, I won't say always have had, but here in this Western Hemisphere, we have more to lose because it's a situation in which it's got to be the man's fault. No matter what happens, it's got to be the man's fault. And so, you know, my advice, and he's going to give his advice because he's going through the divorce, but it's all the same because, you know, he's been married 5 years. I've been married for about 15 years. So I understand his frustration because he has the same frustration that we all have as men, especially black men. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying black men because we have to carry a different burden than any other race. We got to carry the burden of being the soul, being the provider, protector, as well as being a black man, trying to, attempting to provide and protect. And our women don't really take that into consideration. When you talk to them, most of the time, they're going to say, well, what about me as a black woman? Okay, so you're not the protector, you're not the provider. So they're not aiming for you, they're not gunning for you. If they can get us out of the way, automatically, you know what I'm saying, the domino effect happens, which has happened, which is there'll be easier access to the woman and then the kids. But you can't tell them that because we live in a society now where our women, unfortunately, just don't have, they lack the understanding of their role. But I'm gonna let him talk more because it's not just that. Sometimes a lot of this relationship issue, a lot of this relationship dilemma can be self-inflicted.
You know, be careful who you plant your seeds in. You know, as so many times my wife would come and tell me, you know, guys, you know, I work. My wife doesn't work. And usually I'm working. And since I lost my job, I've been working extra hard trying to make money for us to have good holidays and stuff like that, you know. And she said, you don't never help with the kids. Like, you don't never do nothing. You don't never do nothing. And then the way she talks to me, I know I'm being the way I'm talking, but the way she talks to me like a man who doesn't like another man on the streets. Meaning that if somebody, the way my wife talked to me, the way my wife talked to me a lot of the times, and if a dude said the same thing to me on the streets, I would absolutely have to go.
Yeah, so he's basically saying his wife disrespects him. His wife talks to him like he's a man. And see, therein lies the problem. Because when you're a man, you can only take so much. How much? Why is it that you, as a man, you have to sit there and take that right there in your own house, and to get any type of deliverance or any type of resolution, you literally got to leave your house. You literally got to get away from, because if somebody called the police, if you call the police as the man and tell your side of the story, they're going to tell you to leave. You leave. They're not going to tell her to leave. They would tell him to leave, but she's the stay-at-home mom, disrespecting him.
Inside of his, I'll have to fire him, you know. And that's part, mostly the reason why, you know, I'm opting out of marriage, because, you know, I'm starting to see that, like, this woman, like, we done had issues, you know what I'm saying, issues our whole marriage, off and on, you know, but us as man, we be like, you know, we'll wait it out, you know, she might change, she might not change, or whatever. You know, I'm opting out because what I'm seeing is, no matter what the circumstances is, no matter how good I'm doing in life, no matter how good I'm doing on YouTube, no matter how good I'm doing on the job, no matter how much money we have, this woman will never respect me. You know, somewhere down the line,
We can, brother, we can stop right there. You said no matter what, this woman will never respect you. You don't have a wife. Plain and simple. You're married. But unfortunately, you don't have a wife. And so it's downhill. 5 years, 2 kids. See, a lot of men get so wrapped up in the kids, they get so wrapped up in the material things, the house, the car. They get wrapped up in the time. As a man, and I know it's hard, but as a man, you got to be willing to say, screw you and screw them kids for your livelihood. You've got to put yourself almost in a mental prison to stop worrying about the kids. Because see, that's what they use against you are the kids. They know that, okay, if nothing else, I can get to him through the kids. That's why you just got to put it in the Most High's hands. But your livelihood, and I know men who are on blood pressure medicine because of women, who are stressing because of women. See, the Most High ain't even dealing with the women when it comes to building, when it comes to creating and things like, no, he's dealing with us men when it comes to the purpose for what he has in terms of the earth. They're supposed to be our helpmeet so that we can go out and successfully conquer, successfully build, successfully take care of our kids and take care of them. But if they're not allowing you to do this as a man, then you don't have a wife. You have an enemy. Remember what the Messiah said in Matthew 10. A man's foes shall be those of his own house. He's letting you know your enemies, your foes, will be those that's really in your house. See, a man's biggest problem, a man's biggest issue will always be that woman. Always, hands down. It won't be the job. It won't be the kids. It won't be other men. It's gonna be that woman, because you have invested in somebody who has the ability and the potential to use your weaknesses against you. And that's what he's dealing with. But listen, that's what every man deals with, and that's okay. The issue, though, the problem is, how do you respond to it as a man? You send her on her way, or you pack your bags and you go on your way. Other than that, you'll just be walking around on eggshells, stressing. And before you know it, you'll be dead before your time, worrying about something you can't change, worrying and trying to deal with a woman who has allowed a wicked spirit to overtake her. Let's see what else he got to say.
this woman has lost respect for me. You know, and by me getting out of this marriage now, people be like, oh, you're gonna have to pay child support and woo the woo. I don't mind paying child support. You know, if it comes down to it and I gotta pay child support, I do not mind paying child support. It's the simple fact that if a man gets with a woman like this, 9 times out of 10, a woman like this can pull your energy down. I found it a lot of times where I'm supposed to be creating hella videos, you know, and then don't get it twisted. The kids are still, and I'm still interacting with my children, loving them, grabbing them, checking on them, feeding them, doing what I gotta do, you know. But it's a time where
He's letting you know that, like all men, he can't even better himself because he's having to deal with this. Now she's a stay-at-home mom. He's letting you know, I'm working, I'm doing everything I can, but I'm still having to deal with this. I'm still having to deal with a woman who's telling me, making me, showing me in her own way that what I'm doing, what I'm bringing to the table isn't good enough. It's below her standard. Even though she ain't working, it's below her standard.
You know, this woman's not, you know, instead of motivating a guy, you know, she's not motivating me. It's like she's pushing me to do something that's gonna either lead me in prison or jail. You know, like a woman who think that, you know, she could just talk to like she done lost respect for me, so now she feel like she could talk to me any types of ways. She could do anything she wants to do. Guys, when I tell you it was Christmas, she kicked me out 2 or 3 days before Christmas. Like, I don't know if she was planning what, but she told me to get the F out her house. And that's the sad part about it, guys, because, you know,
No, sir, she wasn't playing. Women who plays like that? Who plays like that? If she was playing, she would have just said I was playing. But from how you're talking, you left. No, she wasn't playing. No, she was serious.
by us being married, like, really, you're gonna, you know, and I'm not about to sit here and argue with you. But if you tell me to get out of your house by me being your husband, and then you spend the holidays without your family, without the man that you chose to marry, you don't want to take none of his authority. I need to end this marriage as soon as possible. You know, I need to end this marriage as soon as possible. Okay.
Oh, well, bravo to you, brother, because most men don't get the memo. If a woman does not want to take, see, you can get married, women, but you can't officially be a wife in the sight of the Most High and His requirements if you aren't willing to take your husband's, your coverings, orders, his advice, his wisdom. That's what he's there for. The scripture tells you, wives, submit to your husband, for he shall have rule over you. Adam didn't tell Eve that. The Most High gave Eve those instructions and the qualifications that it takes to be somebody's wife, to be friendly, to be affable, to be peaceful, to be meek, to be silent, to be modest. I can keep going. Men are still men. We're not looking for women. We're looking for wives. I don't care what we do, what we get out there and do. We're still, when we're hunting, we're looking for wives. You ain't got to be perfect. Just be peace, our peace. If you're not going to be our peace, you're going to bring about us like high blood pressure.
I brought kids into the world. I'm gonna have to pay child support. You know, my wife is gonna end up with her place. You know, um, it's absolutely fine. You know, but if I stick with this chick for 10, 15 more years, the only thing I feel that my wife was doing is pulling me down. You know, pulling me down. You know, not to mention that I know for a fact, like, cause man, we know she's a cheater. You know, you see, I'm the type, I cheated on my wife as well, but I already knew that she was cheating on me too. So you know how women have dudes, you know, who.
Okay, brother. So you said you cheated on your wife, but you knew she was. So you're saying, based on what I'm hearing, she cheated. She drew first blood. She cheated. Brother, it was over. It was over. You could have stayed, but come on. Well, let's just see how what happened after the cheating, kind of played into all of this.
Who out of nowhere they'll just drop everything. Even if they with a guy, even if they're with a guy, they like him or they love him or whatever. As soon as this one particular person calls, they'll drop everything for him. This is exactly what my wife is doing to me exactly right now. And that's absolutely fine.
Wait a minute, brother. So you're saying the woman or the man that she cheated on you with, she was still having contact and correspondence with that person, and that when he called, she dropped everything. What y'all got going on, brother? What you got going on? Just listening to what he's saying.
Like I said, I do not advise, and then she uses her family as a cover up. Guys, you have to be very careful with modern women. She uses her family as a cover up. She's messing with a guy or multiple guys over where her crackhead grandmama and crack pill popping granny and her meth smoking aunts and alcohol smoking aunties, and I was always trying to get her away from these negative addictive people, but that's where I messed up at. I should have recognized the signs when I got with her and never.
I'm gonna just stop it right there. Brother, honestly, sounds like you married a crackhead hoe. I mean, it sounds like you married a crackhead hoe. Um, just to put it mildly, you know what I'm saying, as nice as I can, based on what you're telling. But even though you did seemingly marry a crackhead hoe, what you're going through, you aren't going through that by yourself. You're not going through that just because. See, these are the characteristics that women who aren't crackhead hoes possess, and they execute. Yeah, because it's not the crack, it's not the so-called hoeing. It's just that woman who, like you said, she disrespected you, not because she was a hoe or she was on drugs or around drugs or whatever. She put you out, not because she was a hoe or, you know what I'm saying, on drugs and none of that. All the things that she was doing to you, disrespecting you, it didn't have anything to do with her being a hoe, or her possibly being a crackhead. I'm just saying she was a crackhead hoe, you know what I'm saying? But it had everything to do with her being a modern woman, feeling like she don't deserve to give you any respect. You're not the only one that go through that, brother. Every man goes through that phase of life after you've been married to a woman for any length of time. The question is, how do you respond? I'm sure you wanted to, what I'm saying, rip her head off. Of course, we all do. We all do. Because women know how to say things. They know what to say because they know our weaknesses. They know what we love. They know what we're passionate about. And a lot of women don't know how to be sad without feeling like you should be sad with them. A lot of women don't know how to be mad without feeling like you should be mad. A lot of any feeling that's not joy, peace, love, happiness, any feeling that's detrimental to a woman, they kind of expect that a man should feel the same way. That's why when you try to tell them and help them deal with those feelings, what will they respond by saying? Well, you just don't understand. I feel like I'm talking to myself. Okay, well, peace, bye. I'm not gonna allow you and your feelings to make me. But even no matter how strong of a man as you are, it's still, because that's your wife, you're her covering. It's still going to um, uh, it's still going to uh, get to you in some way, form, or fashion. Now the question is how much. You know, you can't let a woman's problem, a woman's issues, your wife. You can't let your wife's problems or your wife's issues stress you out, especially when you're covering her with wisdom as to how to deal with them. That's what you're supposed to be doing. This brother said he paying all the bills, and he was put out of a house that he's paying for. See, women have in this system, in this society, they have something in their brain, in this programming, to where they don't really know how to be wives. They know how to lay down and open up their legs. They know how to be hoes. They know how to shop. They know how to argue. They know how to get on the pulpit and speak empowerment sermons. They know how to go on girls' trips. They know how to get booty implants, titties. They know how to go look for nice cars, nice houses. They know how to do. Think about it. These women know how to do everything that makes them happy. That's for them. And when they're not getting whatever it is that's for them, they're in some type of mood and they want you to share in that mood with them. As the old adage say, misery loves company. Now you'll take a man, a married man. What makes us happy? Knowing that my wife is happy, knowing that my kids are fed and taken care of, knowing that we got a little bit of money in the bank. That's what makes a man happy, knowing that they are taken care of. But they will swear on the Bible that we don't know how to love. Now, if you take them and us and put them together and weigh everything in the balance, tell me who knows how to love. What men are doing is selfless, is for the family. What women are doing is for their happiness, and their happiness is tied to their feelings. You see, it doesn't matter how men feel, we still got to make sure. Watch this. Doesn't matter how men feel, we got to make sure that when you flip that switch, the lights still come on. Doesn't matter how we feel, we got to make sure, you know what I'm saying, that mortgage, it still gets paid. It doesn't matter about our feelings, and we're okay with that. We're cool with that. We could care less about our feelings. All we ask is that, hey, take into consideration what I'm bringing to the table. Don't disrespect me. That's what a man is saying. I'm trying to make this work. You know what I'm saying? I married you because I wanted to invest my life, you know what I'm saying, with you. I knew my job. My job was to provide and protect. Did you know your job? Did you know your job? So men, all of the fellas out there, listen, don't stress behind no wicked wife. The scripture says it's better to dwell in a wilderness with than with an unscrupulous and vicious woman. Yeah, it's basically saying it's better for you to get away from her. Get away from her. Because if you don't, more than likely you're going to do something that's going to cost you dearly. Yeah. Family, you've been rocking with Twid. Of course, you know Twid stands for That's What I Do. Till next